Okay, do you want to tell me a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and some of the things you've been talking about this evening?
Yeah, first.
I'm Nikki Getgood. I run a local blog in Birmingham called Digbeth is Good, and I work for Talk About Local, helping people create community websites and get a voice for their communities online.
And I'm Robin Morley, and I work for the BBC in Birmingham, looking across all the BBC's local sites. So what have we been talking about?
All sorts, really. That was a really interesting discussion. But some of what we were talking about was a bit of a bugbear of mine, which is kind of archives and kind of a lot of local sites. They really enjoy talking about heritage and history and sharing that content with a local audience and having a discussion about it. So it kind of draws out local people's memories and it's more of a discussion about the memories these archives bring up rather than just broadcasting those archives for their own sake. And often, you know, the BBC kind of has a wealth of archives, especially on a kind of local level. And so kind of a bit of a personal kind of mission, what I always tend to shout about at these things is kind of trying to convince people to not only get them online and kind of make them searchable in a way that you can filter down by area or by subject matter, but also making them shareable. So say if I find a really interesting film about Digbeth on a BBC archive page, you know, I don't just get to watch it in iPlayer or whatever, I can, you know, rip that off and share it on Digbeth is Good with a local audience, and there'd be a bit of local discussion around that, or, you know, someone else could do the same on their kind of blog or whatever. Yeah,
no, it's a really interesting point. I mean, we're doing more and more, particularly in recent years, to make the BBC's archive available, and there's, you know, a huge kind of, as you say, wealth of content that, you know, we all as licence fee payers have paid for, that's basically just been sat in vaults for, you know, 20, 30 years. So I think there's definitely a willingness within the BBC to start making that available and shareable. I think on the local side is something we could definitely do more of, because we were saying earlier, there was a trial a few years ago where in certain regional patches, I think Devon was one of them, I think Humberside was another, we basically went back into our regional TV archives, pulled some of this stuff out, put it online, made it not just embeddable but downloadable, you know, for educational and personal use. I don't really know what happened to that, to be honest. It's something that we did as a trial, and I need to dig back and find out what came of it, because I think it's something where, as you say, there's a huge amount of local and regional interest and potential.
And there's a much more, I mean, in kind of the last couple of years, maybe it's just a question of timing, so many more of these kind of independent hyperlocal sites and blogs have just sprung up. And it has become more popular now, and more people are discovering kind of how to publish their own kind of community thing online. So maybe if you kind of got that out there, and there is this kind of large network of them all kind of interlinking and talking to each other more now. So kind of the marketing of that and kind of raising awareness of that might be quite a bit easier. So
yeah, definitely. I mean,
bring it back.
Yeah.
We'll use it this time, I promise. Just bring it back.
The only thing that normally stops us from doing anything like that is rights, generally speaking.
Yeah.
But, you know, some of the content that you see on, you know, on regional TV news or on Inside Out of its archive, you know, is stuff that we've had to buy in from somewhere on a, you know, particular, you know, basis. So we might buy to use it a certain number of times. So it's not even if we want to do necessarily ours to put out there and to make embeddable, but certainly where it is ours, you know, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't do that. But then I'm not a, you know, lawyer or business affairs person.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think you've definitely reminded me that, you know, it's something that was very successful when we did it. Why aren't we doing it now? I don't know.
Okay, well, please bring it back.
Okay.
We'll use it this time, I promise.
I'll investigate.
Okay.
Super. Thanks very much, both.